Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So you might be getting an extra video today, if I can find it in my hard drive. Um, if not, this will be your video for today. Over the weekend, we had a squirrel take out our power on Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon we got home. All heck broke loose with a thunderstorm that took out our power again. So we've had a great weekend of no power. Finding out that cooking when you don't have anything electricity is kind of difficult. But that's okay. We made it work because luckily by the time dinner came around, we had electricity. Um, Today I'm going to kind of do something I've kind of done in the past, but I know I've done a lot of changes to what I do. But I've recently had some of my personal friends reach out to me and ask, hey, how are you losing the weight? What are you doing? And I thought, you know what? I would rather put this out in video because I'm messaging them, but it's really hard to put everything that I do into like messages because it becomes this huge long story, and it's really not that difficult what I do. Um, but some of you who are newer to my channel may not be aware of the programs I use and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to do a little synopsis of how I've lost 90 pounds since the end of January. So the first thing is, I sat down in early January and decided I had to change my life. And part of that was losing weight. Well, part of weight loss was obtaining a counselor and dealing with the issues that made me gain the weight. Not everybody has that, but I always suggest checking in with a counselor, making sure. So whether if you go to church, it's a church counselor, a professional counselor, what have you, just somebody you can kind of run through your life with and make sure you don't have anything you need to deal with. I was going once a week. Now I'm down to every other week because he really doesn't feel like I need to be there every week. We're actually talking about going to once a month right now, because again, a lot of my issues I have resolved, um, and I've been very open about being honest with the things about myself that I need to improve, and I'm working on all of that. So that was the very first step. The second step was I had to pick a workout program. Now, for me, I chose DDP Yoga. Now, you may pick a different program. It's definitely up to you what feels right to you, what you like. The nice thing about the DDP Yoga program is there is an app. You can try it for 7 days, and then you don't have to subscribe to it. You can just delete it. If you have Apple iTunes, you're going to want to go in and make sure you're not charged for it, but you can go ahead and do that. You can do it monthly. You can buy a 3-month, a 6-month, and a year. And I bought the year. Um, it ends up being like $100 a year or something like that. It's really not that bad. It's cheaper than a gym membership by, that's 1 month's gym membership a lot of places. So I chose the DDP Yoga program because for me, I had watched a video. And if you go on YouTube, which you're on right now, but after you finish watching my video, search for DDP Yoga, and Arthur's story. Arthur's ARTHUR, maybe? I don't know. Anyhow, Arthur was somebody who was not super mobile, had a lot of issues due to his service in the military. And when you see his beginning and you see where he ended up, it's not the same person. It's amazing. And I kept just finding all these stories, people who would transform their lives. Even just people who had to lose a little bit of weight or a lot of weight, and people who were told they would, never be able to do this or that. And the flexibility and the core strength that you gain has changed their life as far as their mobility. Even if they didn't need to lose weight, it helped them in other ways. So knowing this is something that long term could work for me was definitely something I was up for. So I decided to give it a try. Now, preface this with I had looked at this 2 years ago. My dad had bought me the DVDs, and I never bothered to do it. My fault, 110%. So there's that. About that same time that I decided I was going to do DDP Yoga, I was on their website and found out about a competition called the Positively Unstoppable program, or contest. And it was going to run for like 4 months, and they wanted you to work on yourself, and it didn't have to just be weight loss, and you had to kind of like set a goal of what you wanted to achieve. And then they were going to have a third party review all the submissions and pick 2 people one of which would win $1 million. The other one, I'm not sure. Or said up to $1 million. So I thought, well, you know what? What is a better way for me to challenge myself but to join this competition and put myself in a position to have an end goal? And if I get to the end of this time of this contest and I'm not losing weight, it's not working, I'm going to have to find another option. That was my original plan. Obviously, it's working, so I'm staying. I also consulted my doctor. I had all my labs run, my cholesterols, my AC1, which is diabetic, a couple other things. I decided to ask for medication for my PCOS that I knew was available, that she had mentioned in the past, but I had chosen not to take. There was a billion things I did that can only help me. So I did that. I got the medication. I ordered a scale that could fit my chubby booty and waited for that to come in. And I had a physical in September. At that physical, they weighed me in at 427. I figured I was maybe 350, 360. I really never even thought that I was over 400. It never crossed my mind. I was still wearing a lot of the same clothes I had. It just, yeah. I forget that I wear a lot of clothes that stretch. So, well, then we got to December after a few months of being really depressed because of life changes and trying to find my place in the world and realizing so many things about my life that I just never bothered to work on. And when I stepped on the scale in January, I weighed in at 458 pounds. And I was mortified because I realized in that moment that my kids haven't had kids yet. But my kids haven't had kids yet. They're not even married. I don't want to miss their weddings. I don't want to miss my grandchildren being born. I don't want to miss my grandchildren growing up. You know, age is a gift that's given not to everyone. And by me choosing to abuse my body and abuse my life, I was not going to be here. And so the next thing I did was start researching diets, because by diet, I don't mean like, hey, let's do this fad diet. Not that at all. I knew from what I had looked into about weight loss that changing the way I eat and what I eat was a requirement. Early in the DDPY program, he had suggested a couple of videos. He had suggested Genetic Roulette, and there was another one. I know there's Food Inc. that I just recently watched, but there was another one that right now I just cannot think of it. Genetic Roulette talks about GMOs. Now, I had a doctor who had suggested that it was possible that I was allergic to GMO foods. That was really my food allergy and not these specific foods. Because the specific foods that I was having allergic reactions to all go back to all of them being based, those are the most common GMO foods. So their thought was, maybe you need to look into GMOs, but there's no science necessarily to say people can be allergic to it or sensitive to it. That being said, for those of you who don't know what GMO is, GMOs are genetically modified foods. Now there are two different types. There are the types that are like lab-based modifications, which I'm still not 100% into. But the other half of it is Monsanto. And they create a seed called Roundup Ready, meaning that seed is encased in poison, which makes it so that if a bug or a pest or whatever of any kind bites the plant that is growing the food, it will be poisoned and die. They claim that their studies have shown that none of the poison gets into the actual food part of the plant. Realistically, I'm going to call BS on that. And I'm going to call BS on that because My food allergies started, well, let me rewind. I had zero food allergies my entire life until 1997. GMO seeds were started in our farms in America between 1992 and 1994. So 3 to 5 years after GMO foods were introduced, I began having food allergies, or so I thought. They have gotten worse over the years. Like, it used to be that I could have some corn years ago, and now it's the point where if corn is in something, I am wheezing, I am hacking, I am ill. I drive by a cornfield and I can't breathe. Um, and I put it off to allergies as far as the going, driving by a cornfield. So what I did was I started small because I obviously do not have the money to just go out and dump my pantry and buy all non-GMO foods. So I started by using up what I had in the house, and then when I bought something new, making sure it was non-GMO. So at this point, all of my baking products are non-GMO. All of my oils, everything is non-GMO. We only buy our beef from a local butcher who has grass-fed cattle that are local, that are non-GMO. We only buy our chicken from Fresh Market, where we can get non-GMO chicken. So we have been very, very cautious about making sure the animal products that we do eat are not fed GMO feed. So that is the first thing I did was I got rid of GMOs out of our diet. I also chose paleo as our eating style change, mainly because I have a family. I can't just cook for myself, and so I have to take in consideration their food preferences. And for them and for myself, the one eating plan that worked out best was paleo. I found a really great paleo cookbook with 500 recipes in it. They've all been pretty much amazing. I think there's only one that we really didn't like so far. But otherwise, everything's a do-over so far. I do want to get more paleo cookbooks for more of a variety. But I've also been able to take regular recipes sometimes and modify them with non-GMO foods. So even though it still meets paleo guidelines, just not in the cookbook. But I've been able to modify with non-GMO for all of my paleo cooking. So that's what I did. So I started doing DDPY, I got rid of GMOs, and I switched to paleo eating. I also stopped drinking soda. I've recently stopped drinking juice and gone straight just to water. More recently, and I'm still working on monitoring it, I started analyzing the acid in my spit every day, twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. There is a lot of studies that are out there showing that your acid levels can affect your weight. So whether it's stress, the types of foods you're eating, medical conditions, illnesses, quitting smoking, any of that stuff, all of that can affect the acid level of your body. So basically what I've done is I started monitoring it, and I'm using my numbers for my spit test every day for my acid to correlate with what's going on with my weight loss. And this is going to take me probably a couple months to find out if there's any validation. So I'm definitely not going to speak to it soon as to whether or not it works. But I do know that I have a book that goes through what foods are acidic. And when I see that my spit is tending towards the more acid side, I decrease the acidic foods. Which sometimes means not doing this or not doing that with my dinner, or switching out stuff for dinner, what have you. I have found this to be probably the easiest possible way for me to make those modifications. So I, at this point, cannot tell you whether the acid thing is true. I'm working on that for myself. And even if I tell you I think it's true for me, it may not be true for you. I am not a scientist. I am not a doctor. I am just a fat girl trying to lose weight. That's it. End of the day. And I think the biggest thing when you're losing weight is you need to find people who are on the same journey in different parts. I'm going to be doing some interviews with some people that I know who are at different levels of fitness, have been in different places with fitness, and to talk about their journeys, how they've gotten where they are. Ironically, 3 of my friends happen to be fitness instructors now. One of which is always one of the people has always kind of been fit. He's been ex-military, and he's been always very fitness minded. Another one had some struggles. He's also ex-military. He is now a CrossFit trainer. And then another person has used DDP yoga to change her life. And so those are 3 people I've talked to specifically who are open to interviewing. 2 will be in person, 1 will be via Skype. So probably when I do the Skype one, I'm just going to put up the Skype video. I'll just record while we're talking. So I'll just probably introduce it as the person I'm speaking to. You probably, will just see me up in the corner of the Skype, asking him questions because he lives in Connecticut. So those people I'm going to be interviewing because those are the people who, could talk about different life paths and changes and things that this has worked for them, because I'm not the end all. I don't know everything. I don't even know a little. I really feel like that weight loss is such a personalized thing, that there's just no way to know everything. The best thing you can do is just keep trying and keep working. And I think that would be my last piece of advice to anybody who's looking to lose weight is don't give up. If this didn't work, try something else. There is no close the door on weight loss. If something's not working, talk to your doctor. Work with your counselor closer. Make sure you're dealing with your mental health stuff. Make sure you're monitoring your food intake. I use a program called Cronometer. It's Cronometer. There's an app and there's a website. You can use both. I use the website to see my daily totals for vitamins. You can't see that on the app. But the app will show you your fat levels, your different levels by color on a graph. It's very super user-friendly. The great thing about it is you can put recipes in. So if you're making a recipe for your family, you can put in the whole recipe, figure out how much the recipe you actually ate, and then put that in. So it's actually, instead of having to put in, okay, well, I had 1/4 of this, and it was a teaspoon of this, I put in 1/4 teaspoon. I mean, this literally will let you get every single calorie that has crossed your mouth. I learned about this program from friends of mine who are vegan, and they use it to make sure they're getting their protein and all of that kind of thing, so they have a balanced diet as a vegan. I would become vegan, except I like fish too much. Today is Tuesday, so I'm probably going down to Fresh Market this evening, because tonight is their $2.99 chuck and chicken sale. They do it every Tuesday. But I kind of want to grab a little bit extra. I don't know how much I have left in the freezer for the next week to cook, but I'm going to double check that. Tonight we're having carne asada for dinner, which is a paleo recipe. And I am making a carrot and butternut squash puree to put with that. That'll be really good. Last night we had sweet potato fries with Kalamata olives and feta cheese. It's called Greek sweet potato fries. And we had salmon croquettes. Really good, super yummy, loved it. Yeah, so that's what we had for dinner last night, super healthy. I'm still struggling hitting my calories because I eat really healthy. The calories aren't high, and although there's a lot of food and I get full, the calories aren't high enough. So I have to find an alternative way to get some calories in so that I can keep losing weight the way I should be. And it's not every day that happens. I just have these days. And when I've put it up on the groups, and like I said, definitely find a group of people to support you. It may be an online support group. If you choose DDP Yoga, there is a DDP Yoga page. That's a support group. Amazing people, some really, really smart people who've achieved lots. Um, I reached out and I asked people, hey, is anyone struggling with this? And everyone's like, well, you just have to eat more. Well, duh. But I'm not going to eat crap just to eat my calories worth. And I found there were other people in the same boat as me who struggle every once in a while to hit their calories. And so there's nothing you're going through that you're not alone. The only thing I wish in some support groups is that if it doesn't apply to you, you scroll by. Don't comment was stupid. Like, I can't deal with that. I will tell you, I have decreased my social media usage significantly. Except for recently because I've been on a lot of the chat groups. But I'm not like just scrolling Facebook. I've deleted the app from my phone. I have to physically go onto the Facebook page on my internet browser. I no longer have an app. I don't get notifications. None of that. I post on Instagram. I don't scroll Instagram anymore. I am just really trying to make a conscious effort to not be absorbed in social media that in the long term is going to hurt me. Because I've found there's a lot of negativity. That's why I don't have a Twitter. Twitter is just a cesspool. So, I mean, if you want to follow me, where I post the most often is below. It's my minds.com and my Instagram. Again, I don't scroll through Instagram often. I have specific pages. I'll look them up and I go check their page, see if there's any updates. That's it. Once a day in the morning, I'll scroll through Facebook just to make sure there's nothing any of my friends are looking for that I can help with. And then I do it once again in the evening and then I stop. That is a choice I've made for my own mental health. But you may not have that problem. But I found that by limiting my social media connections, I have felt much less stressed overall. Yeah, so that's basically what I've done. It's not rocket science. And like I said, this may not work for you. This is what works for me. I really appreciate those of you who do follow me. I just want to add this at the end. When I started this page, it was just to be accountable to myself. But I've spoken to some of you personally. Some of you guys have sent me some information, which has been super helpful. And I love when I do my lives to be able to talk to some of you. I'd love to be able to talk to all of you, but I have no idea who some of you are because I can't see your names. But I just want to let you guys know that this journey for me doing a YouTube channel was really about just holding myself accountable, having a public way to do that. But I've gained so much more from you guys, and I really am hoping to hit 100 subscribers by my birthday because I really want that slash going all the way. I don't care if I get more than that. If we stay a small little group of people who can connect and talk, then I am thrilled. That being said, my husband is going on Friday to get my P.O. box. So I know some of you have messaged me and talked about wanting to send stuff. For obvious reasons, I don't want to give out my home address. Once I have my P.O. box set up, I will be posting my links to my Amazon pages, lists, because I know, like I said, again, some of you that messaged me have discussed my birthday. And so I'm going to have my P.O. box set up for delivery of items. And again, I'm sure you can see how I'm feeling on that account. I do appreciate that some of you want to send gifts. I appreciate that you guys thought of what do you need. I think that's wonderful. But I don't feel worthy of it, or it's not my nature. Just, I'm sure y'all get it. But anyhow, so I'm going to put it out there. I will put it out in my videos every day so that you're not having to go through a bunch of video comments to check to see where it was. And then at some point, getting towards my birthday, I will stop it and delete it off of there. I may not go back and delete them all, though, because I really just don't have time for that. But Yeah, so I do appreciate those of you who want to send me something. I think it's sweet of you. You're awesome, but do not feel like you need to. If you just want to write me a letter, send me a card. Um, if you read something that just made you think of me, or if you think you know of a statement, like a quote or something that I can put up my wall that might inspire me, send that. Like, I would love to get letters and hear about your life and who you are and about your story. Um, that's what I would love. So that's, what it is. So once I have my P.O. box, I will put it below. So if somebody wants to send letters or pictures or whatever, feel free. I have a wall where I can put stuff up. I'm going to get a binder for letters because I always will treasure stuff like letters. So if you take time to write it, I'm going to treasure it. So I'm going to make a binder that I can slide letters into so that whenever, and also would be kind of a way to chronicle, your growth as well for me to see you improve and things like that. And where possible, I will write back. So make sure you include your return address so that I can write back to you, or send you a card or what have you. Send me your birthday. I would love to send you a birthday card. Everybody sends me a letter. I will put you on my Christmas list. You will get a Christmas card. Like, I'm a card girl. I like snail mail. I don't prefer email. Um, but then again, I also don't prefer talking on the phone. I prefer texting. So, some things I like to personalize, some things I don't. This video has gotten super long. So anyhow, guys, I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna go because I've already taken up way too much of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you again tomorrow.